So I'm making a game from scratch. The only problem is I don't know how to, but I'm gonna figure it out. So, welcome to my journey in creating the greatest game of all time, Super Pectoid Obama. No, not that Obama. This Obama. The greatest president of all time in the Super Pectoid Obama universe. I've been working on this for some months now, so this video will be more of a summary of what I've accomplished so far, and future videos will probably be closer to devlogs and be more in detail on how I learned stuff. I effectively started out from zero in terms of actually putting a game together, although I did take a few computer science courses back in the day, not that I was taught any useful information or anything. To start out, I needed to figure out how to start out. My first decision was whether or not I wanted to use a game engine, and if so, which one I would be using. Game making libraries like Pygame honestly seemed like too much work, and I am one of the laziest people on earth, if nothing else. So a game engine was a natural choice for me. But then I had to decide on which one. I quickly narrowed it down to three engines: Unreal Engine, Unity, and Godot. So Unreal, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't look at it too much. It just seemed like too much work. If you look at their website, looks a little out of my purview, I guess. Like, look at this. This is too advanced for me. I don't want to use it the same way. I don't want to use like a game library. It's just too much work, and I don't have enough brain juice to handle it. So with Unreal off the table, we've got Unity and Godot left. Unity has a lot to offer. Like the documentation is usually more up to date than Godot's because of funding and whatnot. My choice ultimately came down to the pricing structure and ease of use of the two engines. The all-knowing internet said that Godot was easier to get into for beginner, which is what I am, and it's completely free. So I think the choice is pretty obvious. And after all that, I just needed to actually start working on the game. As I mentioned earlier, I did know some Java starting out, but GDScript, the language that is built into Godot, isn't really like Java, so I had to learn it somehow. After I spent years scouring YouTube for Godot tutorials, I came across a channel called Godot Tutorials, and coincidentally, it was just what I needed. Over the course of the next 20 years, or a few days, I'm not exactly sure, I took notes on the entire Godot Fundamental series on the channel, and I pretty much understood the basics, at least well enough to get started making the game. And by start making a game, I mean following someone else's tutorial. This tutorial, to be exact, GD Quest's 2D platformer tutorial. I followed through most of the tutorial, and at some point while I was working on it, my friend showed me a short game he made in Scratch, and he called it Super Pectoid Obama. And after seeing it, I told him I would make it into a full game, and here I am now. When I first started, it was pretty much just a clone of the tutorial I was doing, but it was worse. I made a whole tile map and a movable character using the one PNG I had to work with. But soon after, I did get my hands on some more legit assets from the original creator of Super Pectoid Obama. A dirt tile and a grass tile. I quickly made a test level using the dirt and grass tiles instead of the Super Pectoid Obama PNG. But then Obama had a problem. He couldn't shoot his gun. So I looked up how to do that, and I found a YouTube channel called Game Development Center, which had a nice little video on projectiles. It was slightly different from what I wanted, but I was able to apply the preloading of a projectile object, create it, and then move it with force. The video was designed for aiming in all directions, but it was easy enough to adapt it to just the two directions I wanted, left and right. And since Obama could shoot, he needed something to shoot, so I started working on the first bad guy. Same as bad guy. Bad guy is functionally the same as a Goomba, and the code is almost exactly like the enemies in the 2D platformer tutorial I mentioned earlier. Except later on, I did add a raycast to stop them from falling off of cliffs and stuff. After I finished working on Bad Guy, I added a multi-jump, and for some godforsaken reason, I decided I wanted Super Pectoid Obama to spin on his first jump, which was a pain in the ass to say the least. At first, I tried to rotate the whole player object using code, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to stop back at 0 degrees when it was done spinning, or if it got interrupted when spinning. And sometimes it would just keep spinning. After what felt like a long time searching the internet for a solution, I finally discovered that the animation player was a thing and that it's kind of useful. So I set up a couple animations just for Obama to spin on the first jump, one to spin when he's facing left and one to spin when he's facing right, and that worked pretty well. And after going through that whole ordeal, I felt that it was time to start working on the second enemy, Baby. And the baby is gonna throw poop. So to make the baby throw poop, I created a new projectile just like I did for the bullet for the player, and I wanted it to aim at the player, but I didn't really know how to do that. So at first, I just got it to throw in the direction of the player, and it never hit. To aim the poop, I found Game Endeavor's videos on projectiles, and I may have borrowed just a teensy bit of his code to make the baby aim at Obama. And I gotta say, it worked like a charm. Hooray for borrowing. It was quite a bit of a struggle, though. I had to rewatch his tutorials multiple times just to understand them. They were much too fast-paced for my slow brain. And after I got the aiming fleshed out and working, I finally started getting some real work done on the first boss, Big Bad Guy. He's just like Bad Guy, but big and inside of a trash can. And he doesn't quite work yet because of this. I do have a few things planned for him, like a roll attack and I don't know, like a stomp and then rocks fall down or something. Um, but I've taken notice that I've written quite a bit of code, and looking at it is like looking at a plate of spaghetti. I can't tell what's what, so I've been looking a way to clean up my code, and I've found Game Endeavor's tutorial on finite state machines. Unfortunately, I didn't really understand them, and after quite a bit of searching, I did find an article from GD Quest about it, and I'm gonna see if it helps me. And I haven't read it yet. But wish me luck, and thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Bye bye. So if you're curious how this Super Pectoid album is gonna turn out, here's the original game. There's the options button. You don't deserve to say anything. This tells you how to play. Oh, so you continues dialogue? I didn't know that. That's useful. And this makes a dumb sound every time you hover over it. You can't do much. No animation. Oh, quick, grab your gun, Mr. President. The gun shoots. There's a mysterious character who is unknown. Joe who? I wonder. Oh no, I got pranked. What the hell? Yeah, and this version of Super Pectoid Obama will be probably just as bad.